I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we will understand an application of slopes. Now slope can be treated as rate of change. As you know, slope is change of y value to change of x value when we are considering 2 points on a coordinate plane. Now here we do have a coordinate plane, and what we have done here is along the x-axis we have taken time in hours, and along the y-axis the dependent variable is distance in kilometers. The graph is a straight line. If we find the slope of this line, we will get what is the ratio of change of distance to change of time, correct? So in this graph, slope will be change of distance, right? So the y value is change of d, right? So since I have replaced y with d, over change in time, right? Now that is rate of change of distance with time. So you can say this is rate of change of distance with time, correct? And what is rate of change of distance with time? It is velocity, right? It is velocity. Velocity, or when we figure or we can say speed when we are not worried about the sign. So velocity is rate of change of distance with time. And what we observe here is that it is constant, right? Since it is a straight line, rate of change is constant. That is to say, we can select any 2 points and we'll get the same value of velocity, right? So that is what we are looking into now. So we'll find the slope from the graph and then figure out what is the velocity, right? So we can consider an example. Let us say that we're driving from Niagara back home, and with time we are approaching home, correct? So at any instance of time, this graph may tell us how much is the distance left to reach home. That could be an application question, correct? So let's do this. Let's find the slope. So applying the slope formula, which is slope m is equals to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, we can find the slope. So let's consider 2 points. Here we are already given 2 points, which is 1 and 150. The other one is 3 and 50. So what we can consider this as, we'll consider this as x1, y1, and the other point as x2, y2, correct? So in the formula, we can substitute these values. So y2 is 50 for us. We have 50 minus 150 divided by 3 minus 1. So that gives us 100 with a minus sign divided by 2. And that is indeed equals to minus 2. Oh, sorry, minus 50, right? So that is minus 100 divided by 2, minus 50. Well, when we are talking about distance and time, we also have units here, distance in kilometers. So it's a good idea to write units also. So that is kilometers and time in hours, right? So this minus 50 we get in kilometers per hour, right? Now these are different units, and that is why we call it rate, right? So we call it rate of change. Do you see that? Ratio and rate, the difference is in rate we have units. Ratio, we are dividing the same things, units and say quantities with the same units, so they cancel off, right? So that is what we say when we say rate of change, right? So the slope here is minus 50 kilometers per hour. What does it give you? What does it tell you? It tells us minus is decreasing, right? That means decreasing, or we can say approaching in our case, right? So we can also consider that as approaching. So this is the speed at which we are approaching home, right? So here it indicates speed at which we are approaching, right? So we are approaching. So that is the concept. I hope that helps. Now see how much important it is. The concept of slope, it may be very simple, but it gives us idea about speed, right? So if you have a graph in for distance versus time, rate of change or slope of the line on the graph will give you speed at any instance of time. It is important to note that since the line is straight, we could have taken any 2 points, right? Now if I consider these 2 extreme points, then what are my values? In this case, my x1 value is 0, so the coordinate value is 0 and 200 here. At this point, y is 0, but x is 4 over 4 and 0. Now I can take 0 minus 200 divided by 4 minus 0. I'll still get the same answer, right? Let me do it on this side. So we have 0 minus 200 divided by 4 minus 0. 4 minus 0. That means minus 200 divided by 4 is again minus 50, correct? Same answer, minus 50. So you could take any 2 points, you will get the same result of slope. In this case, that slope represents rate of change for us, and rate of change between distance and time means speed or velocity. And negative here means we are approaching, right? Distance is decreasing. That is kind of important with time. So distance is decreasing with time. That means we are approaching a point from where the distance is being measured. I think all these things can come together and be very meaningful for you. I hope that helps. Thank you and all the best.